Welcome to Mars.
Alright, can you hear me now? Ah yes, there we go. I can hear the microphone. Alright, sorry about that. I've been chatting away and for some reason my mic wasn't detected, so I've fixed that, got that plugged in. So yeah, you missed me explaining all the stuff at the beginning, but you could see what I was doing as I was going through all the different options at the start. So I've used my orbital probes to kind of scan these sectors around here. We had this one uncovered at launch. You can see an asteroid landing in the bottom right corner area there. And haven't found a water deposit, which I was kind of hoping for, but never mind. We can kind of persevere with that. So we now need to choose where we're going to land our rocket. So let's see. Where do I want to drop the rocket? Needs to be somewhere around here, I think. Just looking at these different deposits. So I'm going to drop the rocket sort of over here, I think. Let's speed time up a little bit, and we need to get some scanning done. We can scan sectors to help uncover what's going on. You can scan up to 10 sectors at a time, one active and then one queued, one active and then 9 queued up alongside that as well. So now that we've got those done, let's get some technology research going. So this is our tech tree. You can see that because of the choosing of our rocket scientist category at the start, we have the CO2 jet propulsions already unlocked. That's kind of cool. That gives us rocket and shuttle hubs. As you can see, we've got lots and lots of different techs across the whole sort of each tree. And we have biotech, engineering, robotics, physics, and social. So we've got 5 different categories. Each one gives us kind of different stuff. This one, social, is more really for working on stuff within our colony itself. So it's more for the people in the colony, and some stuff to help deal with them gaining positive traits, not necessarily picking up bad traits, boosting their performance, things like that. Physics is a kind of a boost towards some buildings and things like that, as is engineering. This also unlocks new types of buildings for us. Robotics is a great way for unlocking things for our drones, our transports, and also unlocks a few sort of AI things to help us improve how well we can perform with some of our buildings. And then biotech. This is good for things like our farms and features within inside our domes as well. So these are the starting options that we have. We need to get some research going. So let's start off with the research grant. I'm also going to queue up the polymer factory and the robotics factory. You can queue up to 5 technologies, but we're going to be scanning some anomalies, and hopefully we're going to unlock some new stuff pretty quickly, so I don't want to queue up too much too quickly. So here we have our rover. This is our sort of portable drone control hub. This is our transport. We can use this to gather and unload resources and move them from point to point quite quickly. Starts with a capacity of 30, but we can up it to 45 with some research a bit later on. And this is our Explorer. This is what we use to scan anomalies. Now, anything like this, anything that has a yellow circle and a symbol in it, is an anomaly for us to scan. They have different types, so something like this might well be a breakthrough or a key piece of technology. This usually unlocks new technology, but can occasionally unlock a breakthrough as well. And if you see a little beaker inside it, that's usually just a research boost, so you'll gain maybe 1,500 research points or 1,250 research points, something like that. It depends on the anomaly you scan, really. So let's drop down a deposit here so we can start unloading some stuff off the rocket. So you see all of our drones here. We're going to start grabbing resources from outside the rocket, and bring them onto this little storage pad over here. Now you can see we're scanning away. Let's increase the game speed a little bit, get things running a little bit faster. I do really kind of want us to get some something for us to work with. There's no point sticking a dome down here at the moment because there's nothing for us to actually
the rover manipulators
do anything
held
with.
The silver white mineral up to the camera just as the chemical analysis came through. We found tellurium.
Okay, so this is a really good technology to get really, really early on. The technologies in the robotics skill tree gain a 10% boost. So everything here now is 10% cheaper for us to research. So something that would cost us 2,000 now only costs us 1,800 research points to get that this early on. That's really, really lucky. Means we can speed through some of our research quite quickly, hopefully. because the further down the research tree they go, the more expensive they become. And you can soon get to like 10, 20,000 research points needed to unlock something. So we have a prefab colony. We could start out by dumping a dome down here, but because we don't have any metal deposits showing, or any rare metal deposits, there's no real point at the moment, because there's no work that we could do. We'd literally just be dropping down a dome and just sticking a few people in it with very little for them to do. I mean, we could set up a little science dome, actually.
Anomaly analyzed.
Let's have a look. We've unlocked some new techs as a result of that.
There's more to the barren environs of the Red Planet than meets the...
Let's see what we've unlocked. We've unlocked nothing overly useful just yet. So we're going to stick to what we've got with the research. We do kind of need to hopefully find something pretty soon. Although I am tempted to actually drop down a dome in this sort of area here, just to get a small research plant going, so we can increase the amount of research we're doing per sol. So I think we'll do that actually. We've got our prefab colony, so you can see here basic dome with a little 1 underneath it. This shows how many we have in stock, and this is the prefab colony that we came to Mars sort of packed up in the shuttle. So all we need to do is kind of place this down, and then when we're happy we can bring the rover over here. The drones will automatically start to unpack it and build it. We don't need to scavenge resources for it because we already have this in our inventory. If we want to put a second dome down, we would have to actually pay for it with resources, and you can see this one will cost us 80 concrete, 20 metals, 10 polymers. So we're going to place that down there. Now we're going to set up a Moxie so that we can actually generate some air for our colonists so they don't suffocate. Always useful. Plonk that down there, and we'll put an air tank here as well. In fact, we'll put 2 air tanks in. This just helps you to build up a surplus of air, so that if you have a problem, if there's a crack in the dome or a pipe leak and you start to lose some oxygen, you have a reserve to tap into before your colonists immediately start to suffocate. We need to connect that up to our dome with some piping. That should be all we need there. We also need some water, so I'm going to stick a moisture evaporator. Let's plonk that one just there. Now, moisture evaporators don't need a water deposit. These will just take water out of the air and then sort of filter it and turn it into water, which is always useful, but they don't have a very low sort of production. They produce like 1 unit of water, so very, very low production per day. So you need quite a few of those if you don't have a proper water source. So you can see we have 3, 2 from the prefab colony, and I packed an extra one at the start as well. So I'm going to stick that one there. You can see they have this sort of, I'll show you with the third one, they've got this grid network around them. That means, if they start overlapping, then they don't work as well, because they're both trying to take from the same sort of patch of air. It doesn't seem to affect them if they go into the dome. That doesn't seem to cause any issues at all. But if I were to stick this one right next to it, then they're overlapping their target area quite significantly, so we wouldn't really get much benefit from doing that. So this third one I'm going to stick over here.
Sector scanned.
I'll stick
Anomaly
that one there.
found.
Oh, we found another anomaly. Where is that? That's all the way up there. Let's get our rover over there. Sorry, our explorer. We'll scan that. So you can see, there we go, sending him off to scan that. And what I want to do is have some water tanks. Again, this is like we did with the air tanks. This just allows us to build up a little bit of a surplus of water. So if we have a problem, we can sort of stockpile a little bit. So I'll put 3 water tanks in there. Let's get some pipes in to connect those. Again, nothing's being built yet because we have no drones over here to actually construct it. I'm just laying everything out first, and then once I'm happy, I'll bring the drones over. And the stuff that's in this sort of lightish blue here, you can see this is stuff that we own. And this stuff here that I've just placed here with this sort of turquoisey colour, this is stuff that we don't own. So this is stuff that's actually going to cost us resources to build. That's why you've got that differentiation
we found
of colour.
signs of native life.
Oh, so what have we got from this one? We can publish the find as a triumph and get some money, or we can publish it as a triumph of mankind, and we'll gain an extra 50 applicants. We're going to go with the extra 50 applicants because I like to be very, very picky when setting up my first dome. Just going to pause so we don't start eating up too much time here. We can still place while the time itself is kind of paused like this. So we have air, we have water, now we need power. So let's see, we have 8 Stirling generators, which are portable little generators which have a base production of 10 but can be opened to double that to 20, which is very, very useful. We could put down some solar panels or some wind turbines for, you know, a much smaller power production, but they're much easier to maintain. And I'm going to go with some solar panels to get us started. So let's see, where do I want to put these solar panels? I want to put them just here, I think. So just going to plonk a few of these down. That's 5. That's going to give us 25 power. That's not going to be enough. I need some cabling to connect all of these together like that. I'm also going to need some cabling just here and some cabling in here as well, so that we can power up our Moxie and our water evaporators, our moisture evaporators as well. Same again just there. And we need to make sure that this connects to our dome. So this will connect to the evaporator, which will then connect to the dome, which connects to these, which then connects to this over here. So everything's connected. We don't need huge long power lines. We can get away with lots of small little connections like this. As long as everything connects through and forms sort of a network, then we can get away with doing it like that instead. So we're going to supplement our generators with some solar panels just to give us a little bit of extra power. I'm just trying to figure out where I want to put this. In fact, before we do that, let me figure out where I'm going to put my drone hub. And I think just somewhere over here is going to work quite well. So we'll stick the drone hub just there. Yeah, that works. I'm going to put a sensor tower. I need somewhere where this is going to connect as well. Yeah, let's do the sensor tower there, because I can then stretch this way. Things don't automatically connect. So this won't connect automatically to these buildings. You know, there has to be a direct power connection. So it'll come from here onto this, and obviously this one here will connect to this, and to the dome as well. Let's drop a couple more solar panels in there. There we go. And as I say, I'm going to supplement with a generator just there. So I'm pretty happy with that basic layout. We've got water, we've got air over here, we've got power, we've got our drone set up, we've got a sensor tower here, which will help alert us to anything that's happening, like a meteor storm or anything like that that's going to come in. And we'll also boost up our sector scanning as well. So now what I need to do, unpause time, let's bring the rover over. I'm also going to set up a couple of depot points over here for us to bring the resources that we have over. Let's just put 3 of these down. Let's destroy this one. And let's load up all of these points just here. Let's get a transport route set up. So this should now automatically start picking up all of these resources that we've left over here. It'll bring them over here and start dumping them onto these storage points just here. You see our drones are starting to build stuff. Things that have gone up straight away are things that we already had the parts for. So this sensor tower, this drone hub, the Moxie. These other things in this sort of slightly deeper shade of blue. You can see these are all things that are pre-packed, and the drones, when they get to them, will start to build those things. Let's make this a priority. You can see the dome being built there. Okay, now we have
Research
some power.
Complete.
Let's open the generator up just to give it a little bit more. There we go. Oh, we need some piping for that water evaporator just there.
Milestone achieved. We have a power shortage.
Okay, so we don't have enough power to get everything going just yet, but we'll get to that. We'll be fine. What I am also going to do power-wise is I'm going to drop in a battery just here. So this will store power when we're generating more than we need, and then when we don't have as much as we need, which is usually a bit at night time when these solar panels deactivate, that'll then start to distribute some of that power automatically for us. In fact, I'm actually going to move that, build it over here instead. I'm going to put two of them in, one there and one there, like that. So we don't have that many drones going at the moment, and we don't have enough power to get this up and running. This hasn't grabbed all of the resources, it just grabbed one bit.
Sector scanned.
Let's bring this over here. Oh, there we go. We've got enough power now that these solar panels are starting to come into life. Oh, we did, briefly. And then something else switched on and we had a bit of a power shortfall again. But you saw those drones suddenly whiz into life, and they started to grab this metal, which they kind of need to build the rest of these solar panels. Let's just take a look at our sectors. You can see we've scanned a couple. So let's add a couple more into the sector scanning waiting list just there. Don't have any resources left on this. Yeah, we definitely need a bit more power, so I might stick another Stirling generator on here, on the end. And let's now look at the rest of the stuff that we have with our prefab colony. So, inside the dome, we need somewhere for our people to stay. So let's build a couple of residences that we had pre-packed. I also want to stick in a research lab. Now this we're going to have to pay for with resources. I also want an infirmary in case there's any health issues. We're going to need a food source. So once this autosave gets out of the way, we'll add in a hydroponic farm. This will give us a little bit of food income. So let's see where there we go, there's the hydroponic farm. So we're going to stick a hydroponic farm in just here at the bottom. There we go. And we need somewhere to eat. So let's put a diner in. There we go. And then I want somewhere for our weary workers to relax and have a drink at the end of the day. So we'll stick a bar in, and we'll stick a gym in, an outdoor sort of arena for them to exercise in. So that's kind of the contents of this area here. I do want to put some decoration in here as well. This will actually help give our colonists somewhere to relax. So let's plonk in some decorations in this section just here, and then same over here as well. This one here I'm going to go with an alleyway like this, and then we'll stick a statue just there like that. So some of this stuff is going to take a little while to build because we don't have all the resources that we need. We certainly don't have any concrete yet, so we need to get a concrete extractor up and running. I need to make sure that we've got all the stuff from our rocket. So that's going away just there. Right, let's get the concrete extractor up and running. Again, we had
Sector
one of these,
scanned.
as you can see. This came with our flat pack colony to start with. So we'll plonk that down there. We're going to need to connect this to our power network. So I'm just going to draw a line down here like that with our cabling. And we're going to generate a lot of concrete, so I'm going to have a specific concrete depot. This can hold quite a lot of concrete, 180 units. So we'll get a couple of those in there. We also need a dumping site for the waste rock that's going to be generated. We'll need quite a few of these. We'll start off with just the 3 like that. There we go. Let's open up this generator as well. We're still not generating enough power at the moment. Right, let's get these polymers over. These polymers will allow us to construct the batteries. And once these are built, any stored up power can then be discharged through the evening to help supplement our Stirling generators for nighttime operation. How's our research getting on? Anything else we've unlocked that's useful? Scientists and botanists, yes, we're going to want that. I'm also going to want to unlock the Moxie, because the next one after that should be an upgrade for our moisture evaporators to give them a bit of extra oomph. There's our hydroponic farm just being constructed. See, we don't have any people in here yet. And already you can see we're starting to run quite
Sector
low
scanned.
on resources. We don't have any metal left, so I need to find some metals. Here we've got a nice few bits of metal on the surface, as you can see. So I'm going to set up a transport route. This is going to automatically gather that metal, and then it'll come and unload it over here. Metal and concrete are the 2 most used resources for construction. But as you get into the more complicated buildings, you also start to need electronics, machinery parts, and polymers as well. So you need to be able to produce all of these if you want to have a self-sustaining colony, or else you're just going to run out of items and not be able to fix anything when it needs maintenance. When your colony starts to shut down, everything gets very, very difficult very, very quickly. You can order replacement materials from Earth with a resupply rocket. So you can see if I wanted to, I can call a cargo rocket and just bring in a whole load of machine parts, some polymers, electronics, more probes, more prefab buildings as well if I wanted to. I am actually going to bring in some more materials like this, and I'm going to bring in some more drones as well to help speed things up with our movement and construction of things. So we'll launch another rocket. And I want to have a proper landing pad for our rockets, so they don't kick up quite so much dust when they land and take off. So I'm going to stick in a landing pad. Where do I want to put the landing pad? I think just here might be a good idea. Yeah, we'll do that just there. So this is going to require 10 units of concrete to build. You can see our concrete extractor producing units of concrete just there.
Complete.
And bits of waste rock which will get taken over to a dumping site there. We have quite a few different things that are kind of queuing for the concrete at the moment, so I'm going to prioritise this. You can see up in this corner here, this is the priority, determines what gets built first, if there's a lot of things that all want the same resource. So we've increased the priority of the landing pad, so this should get built before anything else that needs concrete. And you can see already our drones are starting to bring resources over, and once we get 10 pieces of concrete here, that'll then be ready to be constructed, and a drone or 2 will come over and actually start working on it. How are we doing on our metal collection? Oh, yep, there you can see the transport is full. It's going to bring that back, unload, and then carry on while there's still metal to be extracted. We currently have 1 unit of metal across all 3 of our resource pads, which is not much at all. Got some research complete, so now we can unlock something else. Low G high rise. Yeah, this means we can put apartments in, which is basically double the capacity per building that we currently have with our residences, so we'll do that. We found a new anomaly over here, so let's get our explorer to scan this. Just looking at the battery on this, it's only got 32% of charge left, so we're going to need to recharge this first. You can recharge this just by connecting it to the grid, so it can do this either next to a direct power source like a generator or a solar panel, or on a cable that connects to everything. And once it's fully charged, I'll send it off to scan. You can usually do, depending on how far it has to travel, 2 or 3 anomalies. Oh, that's the rover. No, I don't want the rover. This is my command center for some of my drones. Where is my explorer? There it is. I need to recharge the rover. The explorer, that's all the way up there from the last one of those that we scanned. What's the battery like on this as well? That's recharged itself. Usually on a transport route, then they will try and recharge themselves if they need to, because he's moving to a very close nearby resource spot to continue that transport route. They will do this if there's something really close by. If it's not too close, then they won't. They'll just stop and they'll finish the route. So this first rocket, we need to get that refueled at some point. Although we have plenty of rockets. We have 4 rockets. We don't need that many. I'm toying with the idea of just scrapping this rocket. That'll give us 30 metals and 10 electronics. Yeah, I'm going to salvage this rocket. I've never done that before. I'm going to salvage that rocket. The other rocket is now ready to land, as you can see. Atlas number 1. So we'll land that here. Here it comes. And there's those extra drones that we ordered. And now they're going to start unloading all those extra resources that we ordered. Now we do need to wait to actually refuel these. We don't have a fuel source yet. Now we have a nice little bit of water production going on, and you can see this little blue indicator on the side of our water towers here indicates we've actually got quite a lot of water in those already. So we need to kind of set up a fuel generator. And I'm just looking to see where the best place for us to do that's going to be. And I think I might do it over here actually. Now we do have a couple of fuel refineries, again flat packed from our starting equipment. Let's plonk that there like that. We're going to need to extend the pipes a little bit. And we're also going to need to extend the power cable ever so slightly as well, so that everything gets connected. There we go, you can see the connection being formed, and as soon as that piece there gets built,
scanned, anomaly found.
there we go, we now have power to our refinery. So this will now start to generate fuel, which means we can then refuel the rocket and send that back home. This one here, broken down into the components that we salvaged. Let's get our transporter to come and collect all of these materials and bring them over here. We have another anomaly just here, which we're still waiting to scan. We found another one as well, just over there. So we'll get those 2 scanned, see what they unlock for us. Something useful, I hope. How's everything going on in here? Still need to construct the diner. Need to finish constructing our spacebar. We need more concrete. Need 2 more concrete now to finish the diner. Our resources, our little nature areas here, we're going to need concrete for those as well. So we're basically just waiting on
Sector
more
scan.
concrete. So we can
Anomaly
speed our
found.
concrete resource
Anomaly
collection up
analyzed.
by adding in an extra extractor. I'm going to plonk that one just there. Again, we're going to need to make sure that that's connected to the grid. Like so. Let's unlock this. Oh, we found some rare metals. These are rare metal deposits that we can place an extractor on the ground and pull out a nice supply of rare metals, which we can then later turn into electronics, or we can send them back to Earth and actually get some additional funding for that. You can see we've got some good surface metal deposits here as well. Again, lots of concrete deposits all over the place. But it's good that we've actually got a couple of rare metal deposits over here. So we'll look at building a second dome over here with the intention of assigning workers to extract from these. You can't build an extractor just randomly. It has to be within the control area of a dome. So you can see we've got this hexagon area of influence around our dome. So
Breakthrough discovered.
if we wanted to put like a metal extractor or a rare metal extractor, then those items require colonists to run them. So they have to be within our dome's area of influence. If they're too far away,
Research
they can't be
complete.
used. So if we have a dome here, we can actually cover both of those different sort of deposits with one dome. Really useful. See, we've unlocked, or we've finished researching transport optimization. That should improve performance for our transport. That means it moves faster, and we now can move 45 units of material rather than 30. What's this one we've just unlocked? Oh, yes, we want this. The Explorer AI Robotics. Generates an extra 100 research per sol for every Explorer vehicle that we have. Multiple vehicles result in a collaboration loss. Now, a collaboration loss means if we had 2 Explorers, we've got 1 at the moment, which is the what's going out scanning of all of our anomalies. If we had 2 of them, then you get 100 per each of those, but the more of them you have, the bigger the collaboration loss. So if we were to get a second one, the second one would also generate 100, but we would suffer a collaboration loss of 20. So instead of getting a total of 200 research, we would only get 180. It's the same for having research labs inside of our domes. You can have a research lab in every single individual dome, but if you have multiple labs in a single dome, or then you start to get that collaboration loss again. So it's the law of diminishing returns. The more you have, the less effective it becomes with every subsequent addition. Found another new anomaly. So we've got 2 more for us to scan at the moment. You can see we're actually getting through these sectors really quickly. That's because we've got this sensor tower here. The closer the sector that's being scanned is to the sensor tower, the bigger the boost we get. So if I pull out and have a look, you can see here, this sector here is getting a 64% boost because of the proximity to our sensor tower. So it's scanning a lot quicker. This one here is going to get a 134% boost. That's going to be next because we're almost out of sectors. Let's finish off this area over here because this is all on this plateau. We'll also scan down here, and then we'll start to scan over this area as well. This lower area, the only way we're going to get down here
Breakthrough discovered.
with vehicles is if we use a tunnel, and we construct a tunnel, which we can look at doing, but also we have the shuttle hub, so we could build a shuttle hub, and if we had something down here, we could transport people back and forth using shuttle hubs. And this is a ground metal deposit, so we can put a metal extractor in this area. We can pull quite a bit of metal out of the ground. So whereas this single block of metals here has got 62, this metal here 894 metals that we can pull out of the ground just there, which is quite useful. These rare metals here, 457 on that one, 555 on that one, so they're not too bad. You can see over here we've received some additional funding from our USA sponsor, which is always nice, extra cash. We have discovered a breakthrough as well, the Forever Young breakthrough, and also the superconducting computer. Converts unused power into research points. That is that's great. So the more power we make, the less of it that's being used gets carried across into our research. So we're definitely going to want that. Oh, I thought I'd already queued that for research. Let's make that number 1, because that's cheapest. Then this number 2. Yeah, there we go. So that's our research queue there. Down here, more applicants, blah 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 blah. What is the one we just unlocked? Seniors can work and have children. Oh, Randy seniors, perish the thought. Right. I don't think we've got enough battery to drive over there and scan that and then get back again before the battery goes flat. So we'll come and recharge first. How is our transport doing over here? He's doing fine. We're starting to stockpile some concrete, which is good. This dome is ready to go. We just need to get some people in here now. So I should have brought a little bit of food over as a starting stockpile for food. Let's put a food depot point just here. So if we do have a surplus of food, that's where we can store it. Nice and close to the farm and the diner. And I need a fuel storage point as well, so that when we've got enough fuel, we don't have to worry about a small little build-up just here, which can hold a maximum, I think, 20, maybe 30 units. We can actually get 180 units of fuel stored up, so that when a rocket lands, we can refuel it really, really quickly. Right, our explorer's recharged and ready to go. Got another key symbol here, so this could be a breakthrough, it could be just unlocking extra technologies. This is just a straightforward research boost, so this will just give us 1,000 research points, maybe 1,500 research points. Is that the one that we just unlocked? I think it is. Yeah, it is. And again, you see more rare metal deposit over here. That's a pretty decent one there, 594. It's not too bad at all. So we need to get some people in here. So how close is this to being refueled? About halfway. Okay, so let's start looking at getting some colonists over. Now, our rockets don't have a huge capacity when they first start out in terms of passengers, so we can carry a maximum of 12 people on this first group. And the first group of people that we bring in goes through what is called the founder stage, so they have to go through 10 sols where you can't bring in any additional people. It's just them for the first 10 sols. So you can filter by age group, so you can say yes or no to children, yes or no to youth, to adults, to middle-aged and to seniors. Now I don't want any middle-aged for my founding group. Youths would be ideal, but we're going to want some adults in there as well, just so we're not limiting ourselves to people with no skills. Specializations, this is where you can filter whether you want specifically just scientists or just engineers or just officers, so on and so forth. We don't need any geologists, so we're going to get rid of those. We don't need any officers because we don't have a security building, so we'll get rid of those. I am looking at building a polymer factory, so we are going to need some engineers. We're definitely going to need scientists. We're going to need botanists. We need a couple of medics. And we need people with no specialisation to run things like the diner and the bar and stuff as well. So we're just going to get rid of officers and geologists from our list so far. You can choose whether you want male, female or other. This actually is a pretty recent addition. It was just male and female at first when this game first came out, and then they added in other with an update, I think. I don't know actually how that affects the game, other. I don't know if that causes any issues when it comes to birth rates or anything like that. I don't think it does. Perks. This is where you can choose what specific perks you want to look for. We do have a celebrity. Celebrities, when they're inside your colony, generate additional funding, which is always useful. So we'll try and get those in as well. Genius generates more research when they're in the colony. They're always great to have. Saints, if you have religious people in your dome, then they will boost their morale. And with every additional saint, that benefit stacks, as you can see. And then you have a few other kind of specific kind of perks. I generally don't bother sort of saying no to any of these. Then you have flaws. We don't want lazy people to start out with, because it's going to decrease their performance. Chronic conditions means people are going to be running back and forth to the med bay all the time. Idiots are going to cause malfunctions. I generally don't take any of those. Alcoholics, I don't tend to take those where I can get away with it, because they can have a lower work performance, and they can also suffer hangovers the next day as well, which is never good. Gamblers, again, don't tend to go with those. Gluttons I don't mind too much if you've got a good food stash. If you're really struggling to produce enough food, gluttons are never good because they eat double rations. Hypochondriacs, chronic conditions, these guys lose health every day. Hypochondriacs are the ones that sneeze and immediately run to a med bay to go and make sure that they're not dying. Whiners lose sanity when they're low on their comfort rating. Melancholic people, when they have low morale, they have an increased performance penalty, so they become worse and worse and worse at their job. Loners, when you have a dome with more than 30 people in them, they start to suffer. Initially, it's not going to be a problem for us, but we're going to be looking at upgrading our residential inside that dome at some point to boost the capacity over 30 people, so we don't really want loners. Cowards, not really worried about cowards. They have a double sanity loss from disasters, but hopefully we're not going to have any disasters to worry about. So I'm going to get rid of pretty much all of these. Cowards will stick with for now. And now we only have, out of the 189 colonists or applicants, we now only have 33 that match our requirements. And then you have quirks. So you can choose whether you have a guru, people who are tourists. You don't want tourists, especially when you're first starting out, because they don't do anything. They just turn up, eat your food, live in your accommodation, and then bugger off at some point. So you don't really want tourists, especially when you're first starting out. Vegans, there's no real issue with vegans. It's just it's just whether or not you have a personal preference against vegans, but they don't do anything in the game. You actually get a trophy, I think, for having 100 vegans in a colony. So the more vegans that you have, the better if you're going trophy hunting. But they don't really affect the gameplay in any way that I'm aware of. So let's take a look at our 33 colonists and choose our starting 12. So this is the list. This is it. That's the full list of all the people that match our specifications. So one of these, hopefully, is that celebrity. I'm just scrolling through, seeing if I can see a celebrity in this list, and I don't think the celebrity's in this list. I think it might be in one of the ones that we've actually blocked. Yeah, I'm not seeing celebrity pop up for any one of those. So, what do we need? We need a botanist. Definitely need a botanist, because we have our little hydroponic farm and we need to get that up and running as quick as possible. I want at least 2 botanists, hopefully 3. I'm looking at some of their other traits as well to determine, when I've got multiple options, which ones are going to be the best ones. This is a workaholic, so that's an increased performance, so I definitely want a workaholic. And that's 2 of the 3 botanists that are actually available in this list, so that's pretty much fine. I want some scientists. Scientists I definitely need lots of. I want at least 4 scientists. So workaholic, yes, definitely want a workaholic. Don't really want a gamer, because I don't have any way of generating gaming resources at this stage, so they're just going to complain when they can't get a gaming device to play on. This one here, a nerd, gains a temporary morale boost every time we research new technology. Well, that's what they're going to be doing. Religious, so they're never going to commit suicide if they snap, which is always useful. And fit, morale is really boosted quite a lot when they're exercising, and we've built an exercising yard, so perfect. Let's go back to the first page. Just composed. Let's check out Brock, just a coward. So that's 4 scientists and 2 botanists. That's half of our rocket already. Let's see, we're going to want a couple of medics. Let's take a sexy medic. so we can try and increase the birth rate. Well, the medics have we got? Rugged. Just going to go with the one medic for now. So I think I need a couple of engineers. A workaholic. Definitely want a workaholic. Do I want 2 Codys? What does that say about your starting list of applicants when you've got 189 people go 12 places and out of the 12 that go, 2 of them have the same name? From people from all over the world. That's just bizarre. So we'll try and avoid that if we can. Let's check out Sabrina. Or Sabina. Oh, she's British. Yeah, we'll take her. She's a hippie. So she'll gain twice as much comfort in those gardens that we're constructing. That's our 2 engineers. We've got 3 places left. I need some people to run the diner and the bar. So I'm going to need no specialisation people. If we can get youths, that will be helpful. A vegan and an enthusiast. Why not? Nerd and enthusiast. And there we go. Religious, vegan, enthusiast, but sexy. Greatly increased birth rate. Let's go with the let's go with the youth. So there we go. That's our 12 colonists. So Rocket is on the way with our first 12 people, our founders of our colony.
Anomaly analyzed.
Ooh, what have we unlocked?
There's more to the barren environs of the Red Planet than meets the eye. A veritable treasure trove of undiscovered knowledge and wonder.
Oh,
so
game
long
is
as you know where
freezing up on me again. It really doesn't want to open up the research tab. I don't know why. Why can't I open up research? That's odd. Very odd. Alright, we'll try that again in a moment. You can see our extractors busily working away. We've got quite a bit of concrete being stockpiled now, which is useful. Everything in here is fully constructed. What we're going to do as well, when you're inside your buildings in your dome, it's not pulling up the panel. Okay, have we got our explorer over here yet? No. Alright. Come on, load the research. No, alright, let's try the resupply. That's loading. It still won't load the research. Oh, there we go, research is loaded. So what have we loaded up here? We've unlocked the decommission protocol. Yes, that is very important. That allows us to clear away the remains of any building that gets destroyed or that we want to get rid of that's served its purpose. So concrete extractors, for example, when they run out of resources, they just sit there and continually need to be repaired until you destroy them. And if you destroy them, if you don't have decommission protocol, you can't actually clear the remains away. And they just sit there, the broken shells of whatever it is you've destroyed. So as soon as we can, we'll get that researched and unlocked. There's nothing else really exciting that we've unlocked just yet. So we'll continue with our work over there. But yeah, let's go back to the buildings in the dome. You can actually choose to sort of filter the buildings. So anyone can work in this building right now. But what we're going to do is we're going to start enforcing specializations at the start. So now only scientists can work in this building. And what I'm going to do is activate the second shift and just close off those loops a little bit there, so it's available in there. Same with this. Did we get 1 or 2 medics? I think we got 2. Let's enforce
Research
specializations.
complete. Anomaly analyzed.
And let's close off 2 of those job slots. The bar, we're only going to leave open in the afternoon. The diner, well, instead of enforcing specialization, we're actually rejecting specializations with this. It means scientists can't apply for a job in the diner and so on, or you know, in the bar. So only people without specializations can work in these buildings, and we want to make sure that we only get specialists in our little hydro farm here, hydroponic farm. Now the reason why I'm doing this is because we've got a very limited number of people coming. They're going to be on their own for ages, and we need to get the best out of them. Now, if you have a non-specialist working in a specialist building, so for example a doctor working in the research lab, then they lose 50 performance points because they're working in the wrong specialization. So by activating those specialization locks, we're stopping that from happening. So we're going to get maximum performance from each person in their chosen environment. This rocket still isn't ready to take off. It's not ready yet, but the other rocket is now in orbit, as you can see, and we have to land it in the next 115 hours, or else everyone on the rocket is going to suffocate and die. I could do with actually sending a resupply rocket as well with some additional food, and we'll bring in some additional materials, and let's get some additional probes in as well. A few more drones, and I'm going to grab an extra couple of moisture evaporators because they can take quite a long time to unlock, and they can be very, very useful. Let's take another probe, or 3. There we go. So we've got some extra food coming on the way, so it'll take us a little while for our hydroponic farm to start generating decent amounts of food, and this way we'll have a little stockpile, so we're not going to start starving instantly, which is definitely a good thing. This anomaly gave us a little bit of extra research points, so that's helped us research one of our topics nice and quickly. Nothing over here to scan yet. And you can see now the sensor tower boost only giving 10% in these sectors over here, and then as we get closer to our sensor tower, that boost goes up again. Over here, obviously, we were getting much higher boosts. As we move further away, you can see that that boost is dropping quite significantly. So now we just have to kind of play the waiting game. We've got time on the fastest we can set it. We're up to 54 fuel. We just need 6 more fuel to go into the rocket. Our little fuel refinery chugs away, builds around about 12 units of fuel a day when it's running in continuous operation like this. So it won't be long until we can actually launch this. As soon as we can do that, we'll then bring the other rocket down and get our first people into our colony. You can see we've got 99 hours to go and falling. We've got plenty of time, so we don't have to worry too much. Just 2 more units of fuel and this is ready to go. That's one of them there, being carried in. And there's the last one. So as soon as that goes in, we'll be able to launch this rocket and bring our founding colonists down onto our launch pad. I mean, I could just land the rocket anywhere I want to, but I've built this launch pad. I may as well use it. So we've got 4 drones. You can see down here we've got 4 drones that are currently attached to this rocket. Now those drones will automatically get picked up by our drone hub as soon as we take off. So let's get this rocket launched.
Milestone achieved.
There we go. And those missing drones have now been automatically assigned, or those leftover drones have automatically been assigned to our hub here.
Scanned.
Let's pull the other rocket down. This is the one with the passengers. So let's get them down before they start to suffocate.
Full of hope and determination, the first founders have set foot on the Red Planet.
So the next 10 sols will be full of difficulties and dangers, but also with great promises and opportunities. It's now up to us to prove that Mars can be a doorway to greater riches and the future of human civilization. Even the most epic adventures begin with a single step. So, the effect, arrival of additional colonists has been temporarily suspended until the colony proves able to sustain human life. Your founder colonists must survive for 10 sols before additional people can arrive. So this is what I was saying, we have that little founder stage that we have to go through of 10 sols first. And then as a hint, the colony will be evaluated positively before the period ends in the event that the first human is born on Mars. If you feel you are up to the challenge, try constructing a medical building and raising the comfort of the founders as much as possible within the service buildings. Well, we've already done that as best we can. Got a medical building in. We've got some sort of park decorations in here to improve comfort, as does the bar and the gym as well, especially with the people that we've specifically chosen. So you can see our colonists have gone in. All those little symbols above each of these buildings to say that they needed workers have gone. We do have those engineers that we haven't assigned anything to yet, so let's get somewhere for them. I want to get a polymer factory. Now I think I've unlocked polymer factories. Yes, I have. Good. So I need to place something down for one of these guys.
Reported.
I'm going to stick this just here, like that. Let's get some pipes to connect to our water tank, like so. And now this will be somewhere for our engineers to come and work. How you doing, Liam? Glad to see you're tuning in. And we're going to burn through polymers quite quickly, the resources that we have, because these batteries here and these generators, you just saw a polymer being brought over here actually as I was talking about that. Polymers are needed to keep these operational, as with the batteries. So with two of these generators and these batteries, they are very much a big drain on our polymer supply, which is why I'm getting the polymer factory up and running straight away. Machine parts and electronics, we will need those, but not anywhere near to the same extent, so we've got a bit more of a time luxury on those. I need to add some power to this, so let's just stick a power connection direct from the dome itself there. And also we need to so this is what I was talking about. You can see here, because we haven't enforced specializations on this building yet, you can see that a scientist has decided to come over and start working in here. You can see it keeps doing this, keeps popping off, because this is working in the wrong place. He's losing 50 performance points. He's only generating 55 because he's earning a lot less than he should. You can see here our engineers, 116 on this one, 138 on this one because of the workaholic perk. So we need to enforce specialization. That immediately stops the scientists from trying to work in that building. And that sends him back to the research lab. So you can see now we've got our 4 guys there. So let's make sure that everybody is employed and not wandering around without a job to do. You can see we have vacant work slots, vacant residential slots. We can't do anything about this for another 8 sols and 18 hours. But we can at least make sure that nobody is having a few issues and decided not to work for a bit.
Research complete.
So our colony is starting to come along quite nicely. Oh, we've got nobody in here. We've only got the 1 medic. Okay, so let's close that shift off then. If we only have 1 medic, there's no point having a shift when there's going to be nobody there. How is this rocket going for fuel? Only 20 units so far. It's going to be a little while till that's finished. We're almost out of our stockpiled food already. The rest has been loaded here into the diner, as you can see. got some people eating away. Let's see if I can get the better camera angle. See if we can see what else is going on here. Here's our bar. It's quite funny actually watching them in the exercise yard. Mostly they just kind of stretch or do squats, but every now and again they'll do a slam dunk on the basketball hoop. Everybody should be kind of pretty much indoors now. It's night time, so they should all be back in their beds. Can we actually see them? Yep, you can see sleeping away on the bed there. It is night time. We don't have any night shifts. You can get people to work through the night, but they tend to take big sanity damage if you continually get them to work in the evenings. So it's not generally a good idea, unless you have ways to help overcome that. We need to research other things before we can really get there. We're low on food, we know about that. We've got food in orbit waiting to come down. We've finished this research, so let's see, what can we tee up next? We want to tee up the decommission protocol, and yeah, we'll tee up the engines as well. We unlocked another anomaly, didn't we? There it is, over there. So how is our Explorer? 55% battery, yep. There's enough power there to get across, scan that, and then go back and do a recharge. If you do ever actually run out of power, you can bring one of your other rovers over to come and give it a bit of a power boost, to transfer some of its own power to recharge the one that's run flat. Likewise, if they get struck by an asteroid and break, then if you have a standard RC rover like this, then you can actually send that over, and the drones will spill out the back of it and fix it, and fix whatever's been broken down, which is quite useful. So here comes our Explorer. Ready to start scanning that anomaly for us. And let's check in on our colony over here. So this is the average comfort level. It's not amazingly high at the moment. We do have one with an interest in gaming, and there's no service buildings available. We don't have anywhere that's generating gaming supplies, so we can't really do much about that. We don't have any shopping points as well, as you can see. There's no luxury services, there's no shopping services. So there's a few people that are going to grumble a little bit, but generally they're going to be fine.
Mars, and you'll find it's anything but barren. We found another treasure in the form of a small...
So we found a rare metals deposit where that anomaly was. That's kind of useful for later. Oh, there's some water. That's a water deposit just there. Is that our first water? Yeah. That's our first water discovered. I must have missed that on the breakthroughs. You can see here, this is our breakthrough chart over here. And it shows you the sol that we first achieved something. So when did we find water? Sol 16, so the same day. Yeah, this just happened. I just missed the flag about it popping up, that's all. Let's get this back and recharged. Over there.
Vehicle battery low.
And there's the low battery warning. These are going to be getting low on resources. One of these is going to pack in pretty soon. Run out of resources to work with. Is this reloaded yet? That's only at 34 fuel. And we're almost at fuel. We're going to have to land the other rocket.
Research complete.
We'll just land it a little bit further away from the colony, so the dust doesn't kick up into our moisture evaporators and our open generators too much. But we do need those additional resources. We need that food, because we don't have a lot left. You can see we've got those 4 units there at the diner. That's it. It's all the food we have right now. How is this coming along? Not too bad. Let's take a look at some of the other stuff that we can grow. You have a choice of different crops. We don't have a huge selection at the moment. Through research we can unlock additional crops, and this is just in the hydroponic farm. You can actually get a proper farm which takes up, you know, an entire triangle tile, so it'd be the same size as one of these residential complexes, but you can grow a lot of crops on those. Again, starting out with a small number of crops that give decent yields, and then as you research, you can unlock other crops that give you bigger and better rewards and food. So let's see what else. We're generating potentially 12 with an optimal harvest, 12 units of food with that. It's taking 4 souls to grow. This one takes 4 souls, produces 10 but uses up less water. This one only takes 2.5. Takes 1 soul but only generates 2.5. Yeah, we'll stick that in as a second, just to give us that little bit of extra food. And you can see our drones unloading from this rocket over here. All the different resources, again, polymers, electronics, machine parts, and the food is being stacked up on here as well as on our main sort of food depot over here. And what you can do is you can actually limit what these store. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off fuel. You can see that's gone red now, so it won't let us store fuel on those. And I'm going to do the same with food on that. So those 9 foods should now start getting taken off. You can see there the drones are starting to take that away. I'm going to do the same on this one here, and the reason is we have a dedicated food storage area, and I want all that food to be stored only on there, so I can see very quickly at a glance what my food situation is like. And here's some crops that have just come in. Look, we've generated 10 units of food from our hydroponic farm. So those will get picked up and transported onto this storage bay over here as well. We can hold 180 units on this depot just here. So that gives me a really good indication as to what my food situation is like. And I can keep an eye on this, and I can see if I'm eating more food than I'm making. And whether or not I need to change my farming situation up a bit. Or whether I can sit back and relax because we're making enough to meet demand. Right, how are we doing on metals? We're running a little bit low on metals. We've just got this one sort of main block here, so let's grab some more metals. We've got all these loose surface deposits over here, and we want to start looking at getting a second dome up and running over here so that we can start tapping into this rare metal. So let's set up a transport route here, like so, to collect metals. And we'll get that to unload there. Ooh, now there's the next one I've been waiting for, the Earth Mars Initiative. Increase research provided by sponsor by an extra 100 units per sol. So we're going to do that, and we're also going to place that straight to the top of the queue. So if we take a look in the top right corner, you can see we are currently researching at a rate of 695 units per sol. We started out with just 300 from our sponsor. Our research lab is generating 295 per day, and we have 100 being generated from our explorer thanks to this perk here, the Explorer AI that we researched earlier. This one's going to give us another additional 100, so our sponsor will go from 3 to 400 research we're generating per day. The faster we can start researching additional topics like this, so that's why that's been bumped to the very top. Get that out of the way as quick as possible. Am I still live? Yes. So we've got some metals being grabbed from here. As soon as this area is cleared out,
colonists are suffering from hypothermia.
Got a power shortage. So we need to deal with this pretty quickly. Let's pause time so we can find out what's going on. We're just not generating enough power by the look of it. We click on this. This will tell us what our power production is and what our total demand is, and you can see we're well short. We're only producing 40 power at the moment, and our batteries are flat. They're not charging enough to be able to discharge enough through the evening. So we're going to need to add in some additional power generation. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in some wind turbines, because these will work all through the day and all through the night. Now, whereas solar panels just need a bit of metal to repair them when they start to break down, these actually need machine parts. So this is why I didn't put these in straight away, because machine parts at the time were quite a limited resource. But you can see from these little white blocks here with the cogs on them, we do have quite a few machine parts in stock now, so we've got enough bits to be able to service these on a reasonably regular basis. So let's put in a little bay of a few of these and stick them here, I think. So plonk one there. And we need to make sure that these obviously get connected. Oops. There we go. And I've done it like that so that if I want to, I can then stick some more on the opposite side of the cable that will automatically then connect to the network as well. So let's unpause. Our drones should start to come over here and start working on these, and also to help. There we go. Now that it's daytime, the power shortage is over.
Building a new home on an alien world, that takes guts, to say the least.
One of our founders has gained the enthusiast trait, which is always great to see. So she's working in here somewhere. She's in the diner, working away. And gaining the enthusiast means I think she gets a boost to her morale. I'm trying to remember what the enthusiast perk is. Increased performance boost when they're at high morale. There we go. That's good. That's what we want to see. And now that we have these in place as well, let's check our power production. So you can see now our daytime power demand has gone up to 70 as our other buildings start switching on and coming into operation. Now we're producing quite a fair bit more than we need. We're producing 94.1 units of power, and the power level fluctuates at various different times of the day as different buildings switch on and off. So now we're able to actually start storing power in our batteries. These need a minimum of 30 in them to be able to start discharging again. And you can see that these are now storing quite nicely. So this, combined with those fans, should be able to keep our dome running at all times of the day. We do have a building with a depleted deposit, which is this one here. Our concrete extractor here, which has just been fixed, has nothing that it can actually take from the ground anymore, so we need to get rid of that. So we'll salvage it. We'll get some resources back from this. We'll get some metal and a machine part. But we haven't unlocked the decommission protocol yet, so we can't clear that away. And while that sits there, we can't build anything in this area either. So we need to get that research done as quick as we can, so that we can get that cleared away, and then we can start positioning other extractors over the top of that area that we've just worked. We do have a rocket that's now ready to take off. I'm just checking. You can actually launch, if it refuels quickly enough, you can actually launch before you've finished unloading it, in which case it will pop a message up saying you still have resources on, do you want to launch now? You'll lose those resources and you can abort the launch. But this is empty. There's nothing in it that needs to be taken off, so we can just get rid of that now. Send that back. How about this one? Just starting to refuel this one, so we've still got a little way to go yet. How are we doing over clearing of this area over here? Is this still on a research route? No, that's stopped because it's moved outside of its area. So let's get that to clear those little bits just there. We can start looking at putting a second dome in. And I'm thinking just there is absolutely perfect for this dome. Although, I could put it over here, actually. Yeah, let's separate them a little bit further. There we go. So we'll put that sort of shell in just there. And again, we're going to need to put in some power, some water, some air, and so on and so forth. So let's start laying in the foundations for this second dome. I want my Moxie. I plonk that just there. Put in my air tanks. Let's put the piping in. And this is why I ordered those extra moisture evaporators, so I'd have the ability to set up this second dome over here with everything that I needed. So let's put a moisture evaporator just there. So we'll put it over here like that. Let's extend that piping a little bit. We're going to want some cabling, so we've got power running from the dome to those two different buildings there that need it, you know, the Moxie and the moisture evaporator. Can I squeeze in a water tower? Yes, I can. Squeeze in a couple of water towers just there as well. So we've got air and water. We're going to need more than one Moxie. They only generate one unit, and that's not going to be enough. What am I going to need? Let's see, let's place this. Let's get the pipe connecting it. And the power cable as well. Going to need that third Moxie as well, I think. Possibly. We'll hold off on the third one for now. Sorry, the third moisture evaporator. I am going to need some power, and this is why I'm glad I've got those extra batteries as well. Those extra Stirling generators.
Cable fault reported.
Stick two of these just here. There we go. That's not going to be enough on its own, but it's a good start. We have a cable fault over here, so we're losing some power from our network.
Complete.
But that's fine, we can get away with that. We've finished the Earth-Mars initiative, so we're getting an extra 100 resources per day in terms of research now. So we're now up to 831, and you can see, because we have some excess power, we're generating an additional 41 research while that power is being generated. Doesn't work at night, doesn't work off discharge power from battery, it's only leftover power from during daytime production. Let's make our sensor tower autonomous. Yeah, that's fine for now. We've got 2.5 days to go before we can start adding more people into this dome, so we're doing quite well so far. Everyone's health is all maxed out. Average sanity is pretty high. Comfort levels not too bad, 59, could be a little bit better. And average morale isn't too bad, there's only so much we can do. So we've got a nice stockpile of food. We'd have to worry about food, I don't think, in this dome. But what I am going to do over here is I'm actually going to build two separate domes and link them together.
Sector scanned.
Let's see. I need a decent kind of gap between the two of them for the bridge. When I put a tunnel in, that should be enough. So we'll do that. Now we're definitely going to need an extra moisture evaporator. But this one's going to be placed over here. Reposition that slightly. Yeah, we'll stick it just there like that. So again, I'm going to need some pipe. Going to need a power cable. You can see these symbols here. This is just saying that, you know, these need a drone to come and work on these. They're outside of a drone range. That's why all these drone symbols are popping up. It just basically means that I can't build these because there's nothing close by to actually construct them. But I can bring my RC Explorer over here to start putting some of this stuff in. And then we'll obviously transfer some resources over here as well. What else am I going to need? Well, I'm going to need a lot more power than just 2 Stirling generators. That's for damn sure. So I'm going to stick another generator just there. Stick another one just here. And these 2 domes I'm actually going to connect with a tunnel. So they will share resources between the 2 of them. They'll share oxygen, they'll share water and power. And I won't need to actually have cables or pipes running between the 2 of them, because the tunnel will take care of that once we build the tunnel to connect the 2 domes. Right, how long have we been running for? I have absolutely no idea. What time is it? Okay, so we've been running for about an hour and 45 minutes so far. That's not too bad. We'll keep going. Not done just yet. What else do I need? A couple more Stirling generators probably. Let's see. That's going to be enough. I might need a second Moxie actually. Yeah, I'm going to need a second Moxie if I'm running 2 domes. So let's add in another one of these. Just there. Which means I need a little bit more pipe. And a little bit more power cable.
Anomaly found.
Where's that anomaly? That's a research boost. Where is that? Oh, that's all the way down there. So an asteroid has landed in that area and uncovered the anomaly. Sometimes that'll happen as well. An asteroid will land somewhere and it'll uncover something. We can't get down there at the moment, so that's got to be a while before we can get into that area. But let's send our explorer off to unlock that anomaly over there. He's got a bit of a trek to go. Let's tee up some more sectors for scanning. Here we go. Now I need a drone hub, and I don't have this researched yet, so I can't build a drone hub over here, which is a shame. I can build a sensor tower. I'm going to build that just there, between our 2 domes. And I'm not going to connect this up because we are actually researching at the moment, or teed it up, over here, autonomous sensor hubs. These no longer require power or maintenance. You just build them and that's it, they're done. So we'll get that done. This is a good one to have here. Passenger rockets can carry 10 more colonists, but this is more important, the drone hub itself. We need to get this researched, so let's add that to the queue. And we've still got a space left, so yeah, now we can add that as topic number 5. Although, actually, no, let's add in. Actually, no, we'll add this in because we need to get additional colonists into this building. We've got 11 hours left of our founder stage. And we've got plenty of slots available. Still got 16 slots left in this dome for people. So what else do I need to put in over here? I've got my basics of a power network, I've got my basics of a water network, I've got my basics of an air network. I think that's pretty much everything. So let's start looking at transferring some resources over there. Our drone hub will go all the way over to here. So to help start moving some resources in, what I'm going to do is put in... I actually, no, we've got the shuttle bay, haven't we? We can build a shuttle hub. Yeah, let's do it with a shuttle hub. Let's place the shuttle hub just there. So basically, the shuttle hub here.
This will go down in history.
Oh, there we go. End of the founder phase. The long-time dream of the human civilization as a whole to settle another world has come true. To be among the people who made this have happened makes me feel enthusiastic and proud. We are already swarmed with applicants for relocation on Mars, and the wanderlust and enthusiasm of these people makes me proud to be a human being. The Red Planet continues to be an inhospitable and even dangerous place, but as a species, we've always displayed the ability to adapt and improve. The adverse conditions will only make us try harder, so I say bring it on. So, the effects: the colony has been evaluated positively. Additional colonists can now be called from Earth. Fantastic. Yeah, this shuttle hub basically, this will launch shuttles. It'll need to have fuel, so we'll need to start building a stockpile of fuel, but this will allow us to transport pretty much anywhere on the map. Either colonists that get off the rocket here, if they're too far in terms of walking distance from one of these two, then they can be transported by a shuttle, and any resources that we need to bring over from here to here can also be done that way as well. So let's add in some power cabling so we can get this connected up to our power network. Just looking at where's the best place. I think we'll just run a cable along here like that. There we go. And there we go, our shuttle hub is up and running. So, because we can't build a drone hub yet, let's bring our rover over so we can at least start to build little bits and bobs. Hi there, Randy, welcome to the stream. So again, you can see that these slightly different shaded items here. These are items that are pre-packed buildings, so these will get built pretty much instantly. You can see this particular drone. Oh, we've only got one drone assigned to this. Oh, this could take a while. Okay, let's take this back over. In fact, actually, no, let's just grab some of these drones. How many do we have on this? 11 drones. Alright, so let's assign this drone. Oops. Autosave always happens at the most annoying moment. What we're going to do is we're going to reallocate the control point for some of these drones. So instead of being controlled by the hub, they're going to be controlled by this instead. So that's now being commanded by the rover. Let's do the same with this one. That's 2. Grab this one here. Oh, no, wait, I'm bringing it over here, but it's not being assigned. I'm assigning it to the wrong vehicle. There we go. So I've got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, let's get one more. Let's grab that drone just there. And we'll reassign that to that rover just there. So now we've got 4 drones that we can move around and remotely control with this, and all our remaining drones are being controlled by our hub over here. So we've got 8 drones attached to this and 4 drones attached to that. That's not too bad. So you can see straight away these items here, like these generators, this moisture evaporator, things that we already had in stock from our prefab buildings, being built instantly. The rest of the stuff's going to need resources, so that's why you can see these drones are going over and attacking this metal deposit just here, because they need it to be able to construct this power cabling and some of the other bits and bobs, like these O2 storage tanks, for example. These Moxies, they need metal as well. So that's all good. We this water tower built as quickly as possible. We'll just prioritise that. This is a good place for us to get started. So to help bring some other materials over, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place down a universal depot. And I'll stick it just there. And this should now automatically start getting... Here we go, look, you see our shuttles are taking off. And they are grabbing resources to come and bring down and deposit onto our universal depot. So I'm going to turn off certain things. So let's turn off the food. And let's turn off the fuel. Don't want those resources over here. Not going to need those resources over here for a while. So we'll turn those off so we don't take those away from our designated storage areas over there. And you can see that we now have materials being brought over, and it gives our drones things that we can grab to start constructing this stuff over here. So that's kind of good. Let's move this rover into a better position now, where it's covering a better area. There we go, that's covering the whole area of construction now. So we've now got this metal source that's within range of our rover. And we also have, obviously, our resource panel just here, and we also have everything that we're wanting to build all in nice, easy grabbing range. And to help speed things up a little bit, I'm going to go grab some concrete as well. So it's good, and we're going to need a lot of concrete. So I'm going to take from this pile just here, and I'm going to unload it just there. And we'll just basically be dumping that concrete on the ground. But it'll give us all the concrete we need for these domes. We're going to need 80 for each of the domes, not to mention all the other bits and bobs that we're going to need to plonk in there as well. And while our shuttles will be running back and forth, bringing over some materials, you know, there's only so much that they can bring. They can only bring 3 units per time. So you see, this concrete extractor has also now run out. So let's salvage that. And we now have decommission protocol researched. So we can now clear this away, and we can actually do it for just this one on its own, or both of them. So we're going to do it for both of them. And it calls a drone over to come and clear those ruins away. And now that they're gone, what we can do is we can actually place something down where the old one used to be, within that kind of area.
Descendants of those who dared to look beyond the nice, cozy valley they inhabited and enter a world full of mystery and wonder.
Okay, so for our mission evaluation, to give us a score after 100 souls, we need to have analysed 30 anomalies by that point. So far, so far we've done 10. We are on soul 28, so we've got plenty of time to get this one done, assuming we can find the anomalies. So yeah, let's get these concrete extractors up and running in their new spots. So I'm going to plonk one just there. And I'm going to plonk that one just there. And let's get those connected up to the power grid. Like so. Looks like our rocket's ready to go. It is. There are 5 drones attached to that. So let's launch that. Those drones now automatically get taken over by this, which means I can now transfer some more of these over to the rover. I need 3 more to get that up to its maximum of 8. Again, we can unlock some research later on, which will allow us to push that all the way up to...
research complete.
Push that all the way up to sort of like 20, I think, or maybe even 100. Grab a drone. Reallocate. That's 6. Find another drone. There's another one. when that will get reallocated. I'm pressing the wrong button, that's why. There we go. That's 7, so I need one more. There we go. So we should now have 8. Yes, 8 drones, which is the maximum that this can currently deal with. We've done the advanced engines, so that's reduced the amount of fuel that future rockets will need. That should now be, I think, 40 instead of 60. There's the moisture evaporator upgrade. Need that, that's important. And we want the farm as well, so we'll add those 2 topics to our queue. This dome's finished already. Wow, that was quick. I'm going to turn that off. Turn that off so it's not using up water and it's not using up oxygen, and more importantly, while it'll still take some damage and will need to be repaired, it won't continuously need to be repaired, so it'll just sit there like that until we turn it back on again. Whereas if we left it on, it would continually start just degrading and need repairing, and once it was fixed it would then start to wear down again. While it's like this, it won't get fixed until we turn it back on again, so we're not going to be continually draining our stockpiles of reserves. Speaking of which, we'll make this the last load of concrete, I think. Yes, it's recharging itself there before it picks up the next load of concrete. See our workers busily building away on this one here. Yeah, we'll make this the last load of concrete that we need. So I'm actually going to take control of this and manually unload this just here. And that'll cancel the automatic route that it was on, so it won't go back and grab more concrete. But this second dome, there we go, you can see it's being built. So now we can build the passage between the 2 of them. We need to let this finish being built. And there's all of our drones coming and speeding that build process up.
We have
there we go. So now we can build a tunnel.
We have a power shortage.
Like this, and connect the 2
low.
domes together. And now they will share water, they will share oxygen, and they will share water, oxygen and power. They'll share all 3 of those resources between the 2 domes, and more importantly, people will be able to move freely between the 2 domes and take advantage of anything that's in either dome. So we can build, say, a school and a nursery in here, and we can build maybe a university in here, and people that live in this dome can take advantage of the features in this dome, and vice versa, whereas normally they wouldn't be able to do that. So that's why I'm building these 2 connected domes here, so we can actually get a little bit of a mini society kind of thing going up in here. Something a little bit more comprehensive than we have right now. And so that we can get access to over this side as well with our vehicles, I'm going to build a ramp there, and this way our rovers can actually go over the tunnel like so. And that's purely just for the drones and for the rovers. The people will use these exits. They don't use that ramp at all. So we're pretty much, let's turn that dome off, pretty much kind of set with the basics over here. We're going to need to increase the power, we might need to increase the water, and we're definitely going to need to, I think, increase the oxygen a little bit. We'll have to wait and see once we start building everything up. We're definitely going to need to increase the power, and probably going to need to increase the water supply. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. We're in a pretty good place, I think, right now to kind of knock it on the head for this session. So let's just quickly check our research. Starting to build the drone hub, so that's going to be one of the first things we build next time out, is the drone hub over here with our 2 new domes. What else can I queue up? Seniors can work and have children. Just keeping them working is going to be useful, so we'll take that. How are we doing over here? We're still at 12 colonists. Let's order some more colonists for that particular dome just there. So once again, we're going to review what we've got. We'll take a sexy and rugged scientist just there. A workaholic. Yes, definitely want a workaholic. I may well come back and get rid of one of these two, depending on what I find a bit further down the list. Another botanist. I definitely want another botanist. A workaholic. Always good to have workaholics. Gonna want an extra... Oh, a saint. Raises the morale of all religious people in the dome. Yes, we'll take a saint. On the off chance that we have some religious people in our dome. Like this one here. What else do I need? I need... Ooh, sexy and enthusiastic. We need more no specialisation people. What else do we need? More medics. I need more medics. I've only got the one medic. And we don't have any medics meeting our current specialisation requirements. That's a bit of a shame. So what I might have to do is open up the limitations on the med bay and let non-medics work in there as well. Plenty of engineers. Got two. I've just added another two. Don't need any more just yet. Just trying to think what buildings I've got back in there. If I quit back out and take a look at the colony, I will lose the selection that I've made from my list. I'll have to go through and reselect everything again. So I've got the med lab. I don't have any more medics in the list, so I can't stock that up. I've got the scientists. I've just added a couple more. Could always have more scientists. I've added in engineers for the polymer factory. I've added in the extra botanist for that third slot at the hydroponics. I think that's it. I think it's just non-specialisation and engineers now, and additional scientists. So, let's see, I had 4 scientists. I got 6. Let's go 7. That's only 7. Yeah. There's only one other scientist. Don't really want to stick just 1 or 2 people on the night shift if I'm going to do a night shift. But what the hell? Let's get some more non-specialised people in. It's a hippie. And rugged. Let's get an extra engineer, just why not? There we go, that's an extra 12 people. So we'll launch that. What's our food situation looking like? We're actually producing more food than we need, which is good. You can see that, you know, the amount of food that's on here is actually higher than it was last time I checked. So we're producing more food than we actually need at the current number of people in here. So that's potentially okay, but that situation may change once we throw another 12 people into the dome. We'll have to keep an eye on that and see if we dip into that, if we continue building on that second layer, or if we start dipping into it and eating away at our stockpile. So that's something to keep an eye on next time out. But yeah, we're in a pretty healthy position. We're starting construction of our secondary site over here. We've got the exteriors done. We need to obviously expand our power network over here. We need to build the interiors of our domes. But we're in a pretty good place, so I think I'm going to end it just here. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching. I will be back with another live stream of Surviving Mars, probably around the same time tomorrow. So be sure to check out, tune in for that, and I'll be back with some farming simulator action, probably sometime over the weekend. So thanks for watching. I'll see you all later.